I have a theory that the more consistent something is, the less it's noticed. When was the last time you paused to appreciate object permanence? I don't mean the ability to recognize object permanence that we talk about babies obtaining at a certain age. I mean the fact that objects don't just disappear at random. Because this phenomenon is so consistent, we virtually never acknowledge its existence. But just think what would happen if it weren't the case. Imagine you just cooked your favorite meal, you sit down to eat it when suddenly, poof, the meal vanishes. Or you're a student who's about to graduate from a university after 4 long years of studying. It's graduation day and you walk up to receive your diploma, but right as it's being handed to you, poof, university vanishes. Here's another one. You're watching a video that seems to be making its way to a point when suddenly, poof. So if you're watching this, it seems the video did not in fact vanish after you watched the beginning. But here's something interesting. What if I said this? I believe the video will vanish next time you watch it. Could you convince me otherwise? You might start by appealing to the past, saying, I already watched it once and nothing happened, so why would anything happen the second time? But say I'm no ordinary contrarian. Imagine that I reject the belief that the future will mimic the past. Instead, I believe that whatever has happened in the past, the opposite will happen in the future. Could you ever prove me wrong or convince me otherwise? Your first tactic might be to argue based on the past, and say, in the past, the world has been consistent in the laws that it follows. A week ago, if I threw a ball into the air, it would fall back down. A day ago, if I threw a ball into the air, it would fall back down. So, as you can see by past example, the way the world works remains the same. It doesn't randomly switch. And you might feel very content with your argument until I say, yes, of course, you're right that in the past the world has worked off the same laws day after day, but I believe that whatever happened in the past, the opposite will happen in the future. And the opposite of following the same laws day after day is for the world to take a 180 and follow the opposite laws. That's why it makes perfect sense that if you watch this video a second time, it will vanish, since it didn't vanish the first time. At first, this contrarian position seems like complete nonsense. But in fact, there's some surprising consistency. Still, there's an obvious way to disprove it, isn't there? You go ahead and demonstrate that the position is incorrect. You go back and watch the beginning of this video a second time, and if you did that, you could triumphantly say, ha, your position was wrong. The past once again repeated itself. The video is still here. But then I could simply say, you're absolutely right. In the past, it seems my contrarian point of view was incorrect, which is why I believe in the future it will be completely accurate. The first time I was presented with this puzzle, I was frustrated. I searched for a way to refute the contrarian's position with mixed success. But in doing so, I neglected an important takeaway. This puzzle reveals something so consistent that we never stop to notice it: the order that governs our universe. How incredible is it that our universe is not, on the scale we're talking here, chaotic? We take it for granted, so much so that the alternative of chaos sounds absurd. Day after day, the world around us continues to follow laws consistently, allowing us to believe and live consistently. That's something worth pausing to appreciate.